Not you trying to be more American than the American.
Why are you faking your accent?
It's not even your country for real.
They're so funny. They think if they play American enough, they will be
You're
American.
actually such a wannabe. Hi, wannabes, and welcome back to Wannabe Americana. I'm your host, Biani. Hi, hello, what's popping? What's good? What's good, y'all? I've missed y'all, okay? I have a couple of things I want to address before we get into the main episode. So there's a couple of things I've noticed. So I've spoken to a couple of people and they're like, Diani, I really want to see the video part of your video because I think the podcast is good, but they can't sit down for long to listen to an audio. And I relate. I understand. I get it. But babe, I tell you guys every episode before we start, use your imagination for now. Bear with me, y'all, because to do all that's a lot of work, it's a lot of money. I ain't got all that right now, okay? But I'm definitely working on the video portion of my, podcast. I obviously want to have the video portion of my podcast. I feel like I'm too dramatic to not have it. But just bear with me, y'all. When I do start the video, y'all will be the first to know, okay? So just bear with the world, okay? All right, love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Those of my listeners and my new listeners, welcome. Okay, I'm super excited for today's topic, y'all, because I'm talking about mentorship. And I feel like this is a very not-spoken enough topic, and I feel like not enough people are mentors, which is very unfortunate, because why don't you want to instill knowledge into people? You know what I'm saying? Why? So when I was in the US, I'm in Nigeria right now, but when I was in the US, I didn't know shit, okay? I don't know who I thought I was. I feel like I was very guarded, very to myself, always feeling like I could figure it out. If you could relate, say I, okay? Always thinking I could figure things out, knowing damn well I had no clue what I was doing half the time, okay? I was just literally hoping for the best. So I had no direction, no guidance, no nothing, okay? The people that were giving me advice were people who have not done the shit, okay? I love them forever, but they had no clue how to do it. And instead of me looking for people who know how to do it, I was there listening. I was like, oh, feeling. I was like, let me follow their footsteps when they haven't done it. And of course, I failed multiple times, but that's okay. But when it was literally my last hour in the US, I started reaching out to different people on LinkedIn and reaching out to different people all over. I would reach out to 20 people at certain companies that I saw myself working at. Nobody responded, of course, because everybody probably thought was crazy, which is completely fine. But one person in particular responded back to me, and I reached out to him because he was a Nigerian. He worked at Deloitte. And I saw myself working at a Big Four. I wasn't interested in what Big Four I was working at. I just knew that at some point in my life, I saw myself as a consultant. Even though I didn't know what consultants do, I just saw myself doing it because I saw a bunch of TikToks and they were living the life. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I could do this too. You know what I'm saying? And then I reached out to him and he was the only person who responded to me. And I reached out to him on LinkedIn, right? And he was the only person who responded to me. And I kind of wanted to dedicate this episode to him because I did reach out to him to ask him to be on my podcast with me. And he was like, yeah, no, I'm not a media person, which I completely understand because those people are not necessarily media people, which is completely understandable. But I wanted to dedicate this to him because he took my problems on his head like it was his own. Okay? I reached out to him. I obviously didn't come off as oh, I want a referral from you because at the end of the day, that was kind of my goal. But I feel like I received so much more than just the referral. I just told him as it was. I was like, hey, I'm Nigerian. I reached out to you because you're Nigerian. Really? And I've been looking for a job, I really want to work at Deloitte, and I've just been struggling to get a job. I've been struggling to find something for myself, And he was like, let's do a meeting. Let's have an actual call over the phone. And I was so nervous. Mind you, I've never reached out to somebody on LinkedIn and it's been prosperous. I mean, I've reached out to a couple of people, but it was literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 conversations and we're done. And literally back and forth. Hi, hello, how's you? 5 conversations were done. No help or nothing. And I personally feel like the Lord kind of just blessed me with this guy because he obviously, we shared our experiences and everything, right? And then he was like, oh, he would definitely give me the referral to Deloitte. And then I got the referral. And if you don't know, like, to get into like any top company for real, y'all, you need a referral. Like, unless you are like Einstein, you need a referral to get into any company that's like top. Like, I think the big four, either they're poaching you from school, you went to like a target school, or you're getting a referral. Okay, like it's one of the three, or you're special. Okay, either one of the three. But he gave me the referral. I applied to the job. I didn't get the job, and I just thought like that would be it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he was like, no, like we're going to apply to a couple of other people. I have a network of other people that I could like reach out to. What companies you want to apply to? Just tell me the company, and I'll like reach out to see if I know anybody there. And that really touched my heart. I didn't obviously get any of the jobs because here I am still in Lagos, but like knowing that he did that for me was just kind of like a step in the right direction, because it's like I wasn't crazy. You feel me? Like I feel like I was trying so hard to apply to jobs and I wasn't getting anything. And then I had somebody here who was like, bro, you're not crazy. Like I applied to like 1,000 jobs before I finally got this one. And he was like, this is how I'm going to help you with yours. Like, this is a step you need to take. He reviewed my resumes, my cover letters. Like he was on my case more than I was. And like, I'm super grateful for just the opportunity to know him. Because the crazy part is, at the end of the day, this life, like nobody gives a shit about you. Like if we're being honest with each other, your life is your life. Okay? I don't have to do shit for you. Because at the end of the day, how is he affecting me? You know what I'm saying? And I think that was what really kind of like hit home for me. And till today, like I will never forget him because he was such an inspiration in my life. And I feel like we all need someone like him to kind of like let us know we're not crazy and also like guide us in the right step or in the right footsteps and just, show us what is possible by following somebody who's done it before. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like one major reason. I think there's one major reason why you need a mentor is because you don't know shit. Okay, like you're new to the city. You don't know nobody there. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to go about it. You don't know how to like navigate this new era that you're in. Okay, so you need somebody who's done it before, been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? To kind of guide you. Right? And I know that sometimes it can be very overwhelming. Like, I get it. But like, who cares? Like, who cares? Like, highest they'll do is not respond to you or they'll snob you. And that's fine. That's fine. Because when you do finally figure it out, that's on them for not, receiving God's blessings through you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I see life. Like, for anyone who doesn't help me out, that's a missed opportunity that God gave you that you missed out on. Okay? Like, that's how I see life. So I don't, like, even take anything to heart. I don't, none of that, And finding a mentor isn't just about, like, career success. Because I know I did speak about career success and all of that, right? But it's more about, like, survival confidence. Because, being new in a new place, new environment, we're very, like, shriveled. We're kind of like, oh, I don't want to, like, I want to figure out, like. But when you do have somebody who's kind of guiding you and showing you the ropes and like directing you and stuff like that, I think it gives you an edge. It gives you more confidence to be like, oh, like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know somebody who does know what they're doing. So I feel like because they know what they're doing, I know what I'm doing because they're going to tell me if I'm doing shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's kind of how I see like mentorship, and like, that's why I feel so strongly about it. And why I think it's so necessary. Because the truth is, like, moving to a new place, it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be hard. If you have somebody who is directing you, who is showing you the ropes, who is guiding you, it shouldn't be that hard. The problem with us is we are trying to get all the knowledge by ourselves, spending hours and hours and hours trying to gather knowledge that you could literally just ask somebody and they could tell you all the information you need. And then you're out here doing the one that they did not send you, basically, because you are too scared to ask for help. You spent hours and you still end up doing the wrong thing. You feel me? So I'm such a firm believer that if I could ask somebody to do it for me, why would I spend my time researching it? You know what I'm saying? Like if it's easy enough for me to just ask me like, hey, like how does this happen? Da, 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 da. And they've done it before. Why would I go and do research that is going to take me? Because that would cut my research. That would literally cut my research. English. That would literally cut my research in half. So instead of me spending like 5 hours trying to research something, it's probably spend me like 2.5 hours doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just how I see life. Alright? Because at the end of the day, like, we don't necessarily always have the insider knowledge or the connections and safety net that others do. You see what I'm saying? Like, my mentor, he was like, okay, you didn't get Deloitte. Cool, fine, whatever. Let me connect you with my friends who work at Google, PwC, all these other big companies, bro. Imagine if I never met him. How do I want to get into Google? And I did apply to Google. I got rejected twice. But like, you know what I'm saying? I feel it doesn't cost you anything to reach out and ask to be someone's mentor or ask to be mentored by someone. It really doesn't cost you anything. And I would say, like, when it comes to like mentorship, I 100% believe that whoever you want to be a mentor should kind of reflect what you want for your future self. So if you want to be a millionaire, maybe you shouldn't be talking to somebody who doesn't have millions in their account. If you want to be like a citizen of a country, maybe you shouldn't be talking to somebody who was born there. Maybe you should talk to somebody who went through the process of becoming immigrant to actually citizen, right? So like there's a lot of like discernment. Is it discernment? Is that the word I'm trying to think of? I want to say discernment is the word, but like there's a lot of discernment when it comes to like that. I feel like discernment is wisdom. There are different situations where like mentorship matters, right? We have immigration and navigating a new culture. With that, you could literally reach out to somebody who is like a senior who has, you know, if I'm Nigerian, I could find another Nigerian who's been in the school longer and, you know, who has, you know, stood their ground, made a way for themselves in the school and stuff like that to come and ask for advice on like how to navigate certain things, how to reach out to students and how to reach out to professors, how to make new friends, what organizations to join, what companies to be applying to. Like, do you see the speed? Do you see the speed? Like literally walking up to somebody and be like, hi, like I'm new here. Like literally, if you don't know what to say, it's like, hi, like I'm Nigerian as well. Like I heard you're Nigerian too. Boom, conversation starter. And one thing about us Nigerians is once we see one, we are brother and sister every single time. Okay, like literally, you are taken care of. Like that doesn't have to be like your mentor, but that is like your indirect mentor. You know what I'm saying? You could have someone who helps you with career, job hunting, like my person who helped me with finding a job, even though I didn't get one, but like helping me finding a job. You can find somebody who is, you know, a mentor for personal well-being and finding community, you know, just find somebody who could be like someone you could look up to, like, oh, how did you deal with like loneliness? And how did you deal with, you know, find a community. Okay. They don't have to be like official mentors, like you write in stone, like this is my mentor. You could just have somebody that you look up to that's like, hey, like you could always go and ask for advice from because they kind of have lived the same lifestyle or they've lived the same life that you've lived. So they kind of have like a good understanding of like how it goes. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I personally feel like there's different aspects and you don't have to have one mentor for everything too. Like you could have multiple mentors for like multiple things. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one mistake I made. I didn't have a mentor until it was too late. But also, I went to a PWI and there wasn't really anyone to look up to. I was literally the only Nigerian there. So it wasn't that I wasn't looking for a mentor. It was that anybody that I wanted to be my mentor, I wanted them to have gone through what I'd gone through. And I didn't see anybody who had. So, yeah. And if you're in that situation, I would say like, I would advise like looking outside of school or like looking outside of your community and actually like reaching out on social media for people. There's so many people who have experienced what we've experienced and they've experienced like being an international student or being an immigrant or being a refugee or being a TCK, like so many people. And I feel like one thing I'm happy about social media is the fact that it is so easy to connect with people and it's never ever that deep. You could just be like, hey, like I think you're such an inspiration as an immigrant or as a Latina or as an Asian. And I would really love to, you know, learn from you. And I would really love to like get advice from you here and there. Nothing weird, nothing weird. Like, oh, I'm currently in school. Like, just kind of like give a background. Like when they do respond, like give a background of your story and see how they could help. Like, do you think I should do this or do you think I should do that type thing? You know, yeah, I don't think it's ever that serious. If I'm being honest. One thing I do want to talk about, y'all, and this pissed me off so much. So, y'all know how in the workforce, and I'm speaking for America only, in the workforce, I see so many Indians, you know, in places, in like top companies. I see so many Chinese people in top companies, but I hardly see enough Nigerians, or I hardly see enough. I'm going to speak on Nigerians because that's all I know, but I hardly see enough Nigerians. And me and my mentor were having this conversation, and I was like, why are you doing this? Because I was like, I just want to know why you responded to me, because I'm a very curious girl, because most people didn't respond. So why are you different from the others? Right. And he was like, he doesn't see enough Nigerians in these places and he wants to bring more people into these spaces. Right. And I've noticed that, like, maybe this is my observation, like it can be different for other people, but this is what I noticed, and like my experience, like being there and like the job hunt and everything, is that people are so like gatekeeping culture. I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, how did you get the job? What questions did they ask you for the interview? Because never did they say that you should never tell anybody the interview questions. Like, what questions did they ask you? Girl, like, what do I need to prepare for? What questions did they ask you in the interview? Like, and they're like, yeah, it wasn't that crazy. Like, just like, it wasn't that, nothing too crazy. What do you mean? Nothing too crazy? Like, what were the specific questions that he asked you in case they ask me those questions? So I know how to prepare for those questions. And she's like, yeah, like, why? Why do we gatekeep so bad? Like, do you want to be the only person there? Like, it's giving very much scarcity mindset. Like, because, like, I don't know, but sometimes I just feel like Nigerians just want to be the only Nigerians in a particular space. Like, they don't want anybody to come and, like, one-up them or anything like that. And it's so exhausting and it's so stressful, because why can't you just tell me what questions they ask you at the interview? Why can't you just tell me what test they gave you guys? Like, why? And then I don't get the job and you're like, oh, don't worry, God will do it. God used you to help me do it, and you failed God and you failed me too. Like, what do you mean God will do it? If you had just told me what to expect and I had prepared for it, like, obviously you're preparing for an interview. Of course you're going to like prepare, but like, you never really know what questions are going to be asked. So you ask somebody who's been there, done that, and then immediately they're like, oh, like, you know, it's just like, it wasn't really that crazy. It just, what do you mean? What do you mean it wasn't that crazy? Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just saying, like, we need to get over this gatekeeping culture and this scarcity mindset that it can only be one person to succeed so that the other person doesn't come in and take their job. Because it's never about you taking other people's jobs. It's like bringing people and uplifting people. I think that's the most important thing when it comes to like situations like this and like being a mentor. And I think that's the purpose of like mentorship, to kind of uplift people and like put them in places and, you know, trust them to be in certain spaces and hope that they perform because you have guided them to do that. So I guess I'm appealing to the gatekeepers to please open the freaking gates so that we can all get in. Okay? We can all get in. There's no need. I think there's this fear of competition. You don't want to compete for like your position or stuff like that. But like, how? I don't know, you guys. I really don't know. Honestly, since I've gotten like this job, I've been open to so many new things. Like, my network is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't I want somebody else to come in and experience this? Like, I know my mom always tells me, like, Bianni, like, the way your brain works is not how everybody else's brain works. I understand that, but it's like, damn, like, I just want everybody to win. I think that's like me. I'm just like, I want everyone to win. I want us to all do great. Because I'm a firm believer, like when, even with my friends, like, I put my friends on everything. Like, if I get something, we all got something. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you get a job, you get a job, you get a job, and we all become friends, and I'm sad, and I'm like, we should take a trip. Nobody's going to be poor and be like, oh, they can't fund the trip because they don't have money because you didn't give them the materials to get the job, and they didn't get the job, and then you're like talking shit about them. It's like, What is this cycle? I'm actually like so stressed by gatekeeping culture. I'm so sorry. Like I literally cannot stand. I can't stand. Like, why is there so much mystery behind what you do? Like, why are we being so mysterious? You know what I'm saying? Like, how? Like, it's crazy to me because sometimes I feel like people don't realize like that's the opportunity for you to help somebody else's life because you never know where that person is going to end up. Imagine if you don't help them, right? And then you are an associate and then they get in and become like a freaking senior associate or manager or partner. Like, why would you block somebody's blessing because you want to be the only person? You know what I'm saying? Why? Why? I think that's something that we definitely need to like look into and like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But also with like gatekeeping, I know that there's boundaries to it because some people don't know how to speak to somebody. You know, like it's actually quite embarrassing. Like you need help from somebody and you're just like, hi, I'm this, I need a referral for this. Why should I help you? You know, like I feel like there's levels to this. Like I think good, you know, politeness is very important. Good English is very important. Like, if you need something from somebody, you don't just outright, I mean, like, outright come and say it, but like, if you need something from a stranger who you don't know, like, if it's your friends that you need something from, you could outright say it. But like, if it's from a stranger that you need something from, you can't outright say it because these people do not know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I was asking for referrals from like people, I got a bunch of like message acceptances. Well, I mean, I sent a bunch of message requests and I got at least like a decent amount of people who responded to my message. And then I would start off with like doing my research on the person. And like, I think it's important for us to like, I think we need to just take a step back sometimes because things are getting out of hand. Like, I get the gatekeeping culture and I also don't get it, but I also understand why there's gatekeeping culture because people don't understand how to talk to somebody. They don't understand how to ask for something. It is give and take. It's not a give. Like, I'm not going to give you something just because you asked for it or you sent me a message type of thing like that. I feel like it is necessary for us to do our own research on people that we want to want us, like people who you want to be your mentor. Do research on them. Like, why do you want this person to be your mentor? Why do you want this person to help you out? Why do you want to receive this thing from this person? Have you done your research to know what this person has offered other people? What this person has offered themselves? Like, why do you want to work with this person? I think these are also like important conversations to have, like when you are deciding who your mentor is, why you look up to them and stuff like that. Because it just like, people like to be ginger. You know, like when you're saying something about somebody like, wow, like you got this MBA, you got this one, you have 3 PhDs, blah, blah, blah. Hype them up a little bit. Hype them up a little bit. It's not just ask and ask. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody reach out to me, I'm not saying I'm vain, but as a human being, we're all a little bit vain. Hype me up. Remind me of what I did back in the day. You know, like stuff like that. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like stuff like that. I think when you come up with that, you know, approach, people are more open to like wanting to help you and wanting to like, you know, find something you have in common with the person. That's number one. Why do you want this person to be your mentor? Why do you want this person to help you out? Why do you want this person to give you, why do you want this person to help you out with finding a job and stuff like that, or finding out about certain things? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be so direct. You know, don't be so direct with your approach because sometimes it works and other times, girl, it don't. Okay, other times it don't. And I think it's necessary for us to have mentors because it reduces the amount of unforgivable mistakes that you make. Yeah. If I had had my mentor earlier in my career, I probably would have had a job by now in the US and I wouldn't be stressing. But as God will have it, like, see, honestly, I don't regret anything that happened in my life. That's one thing I'm going to say. I'm grateful for everyone who has helped me and everyone who has come into my life, everyone who has provided advice for me in my life. But if I had done it a bit earlier, maybe my life would be different or maybe my life would be the same. It doesn't really matter, but it is what it is right now. And I'm grateful for it. But I'm just saying, like, the earlier the better, you know, like, don't wait till the last minute to start looking for mentors, because there's only so much they could do with the time that you're giving them too. You know what I'm saying? So just do what you gotta do. Stop being scared. Okay? Stop being scared. And I know some people are like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know where to find a mentor. I don't know. I found my mentor on LinkedIn. You could go to events. You could join organizations. Even social spaces, baby. There are mentors everywhere. Somebody that you see yourself in, somebody you aspire to be. Is he aspire? Yes, aspire to be. You can literally reach out to them on IG, TikTok, LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is like more official, but like LinkedIn, and be like, hey, like, I really, a well put together message, okay? Like, let them know why you want them to be a mentor, how they inspire you, all of that good stuff. Like, don't be scared. Worst they will do is not respond. And at least they're not doing that shit to your face. Like, they're literally just airing you or ghosting you. And that's okay, because you get ghosted like every other day. So it's not really a big deal. We need to stop being so caught up in ourselves and just feeling like, oh my gosh, like, everyone's against me. People have their own lives, okay? That's one thing I want to say. If somebody doesn't respond to you, people have their own lives. People have shit they're doing. And I'm a little bit delulu. I'm very like, if you don't respond to me, you're probably busy, so I'm going to follow up. And I'm going to keep following up till you reject me. Okay? I don't know if that's a healthy thing to do, but I think that is necessary, because like, people do have their own life. People have things going on for them. So just be understanding of that, and just like continuously follow up, and just make sure that, you're being very, very polite. You're being very respectful, and very respectful of their time. So like, when you are reaching out, you're not reaching out like midnight, or reaching out like very odd hours in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be very respectful of their time. Be respectful of them and what they have going on for themselves. I think like that's super important. Yeah. And I think this whole podcast is also to advocate that we have more mentors out there, people who want to like help other people, because I think it's such a blessing to be able to like provide guidance to somebody. I think it is such an honorable, humbling job to see someone develop because of the advice that you gave them, or like find themselves in new spaces, or I don't know, like, I just want everybody to be nice and sweet to everybody. I just think like being such a blessing to someone else, because like my mentor now, I will remember that man for the rest of my life. Like, he doesn't even understand how much of a blessing he is, because I asked him, I was like, so what do you want me to do? Like, how can I ever repay you? And he was like, I don't need money. I don't need anything from you, Biani. I just need you to do this for somebody else when you have the opportunity. Okay? And those words have stuck with me, because for you to take out the time, like, you guys can't understand how much I needed what he offered me. I don't think I can put into words how much I needed what he offered me. And I'm just eternally grateful to him. I am. I'm sure he's like over me, like thanking him or whatever, but I'm truly grateful, because nobody has carried my matter on their heads besides my parents, and he did, and that just says a lot about him as a human being. And he's just received like multiple blessings, because I pray for that man like almost every other day. Like, I pray for him, and I pray for his family, and I pray for his new marriage, so I'm just grateful. And I just think like, you should get your blessings wherever you could get your blessings. Because like, now that man might be praying for him and his family. He doesn't know that I'm also praying for him and his family as well. So if I could do that and I could receive blessings from everywhere, baby, I'm gonna take all of that. Okay. But at the end of the day, you guys, like, I think no one wins this life thing alone. And it's better for you to work smarter than to work harder. Okay. So if there's somebody who's been there, done that, I would rather go to the person who's been there, done that, than to try and figure it out by myself, thinking I know what to do. Don't be like Biani. Be like evolved Biani. Okay? Biani back in the day, who thought she knew it all, but really didn't. Don't be like her. Be like the new Biani, who would rather ask first, reduce research, be that Biani. Okay? I know I'm talking about myself in the third person, but I'm being so dead serious, y'all. I really do hope that this episode kind of like inspired people to want to be mentors. Like, you could be a mentor in anything. I will repeat that. You could be a mentor for dance. You could be a mentor for starting a podcast. You could be a mentor for being a content creator. You could be a mentor for teaching people how to sleep. You could be a mentor for, I do not know what people be mentors for, but you could be a mentor for it. Okay? If somebody comes and asks you for advice, oh, how do I? You're a mentor. Okay? And don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. And also, please let us just be very respectful and very polite when we're reaching out to people. I think that's like super important, because if you come off wrong, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. The person has other shit they're doing. They would care less about you. Okay? But yeah, you guys, that's really all I have for y'all. I hope this episode was very inspiring. I put my heart and soul into this. Yeah. I really enjoyed this. I actually like scripted the whole thing out, and I did my want to. Okay. I think I'm doing solo episodes. Oh no, I have like 2 more guest episodes, and then from then I'm doing a bunch of solo episodes, and I think we're gonna get back in tune with each other. Okay. But like I always say, if you have any questions, if you want to share your stories, whatever, you guys, okay, I'm thinking about this. Should I create like a chat box, right? Like a form that you just go in there and like fill out your heart's desires? Because I feel like maybe me asking you to write whatever you feel like is a little too much thinking. Now that like I was thinking about that, I was like, maybe that's a lot of thinking, even for me. So why don't I have like a guided form to kind of like direct you on like what to ask, and like if you have any questions about anything, and then take it from there. I'm like, that's a good idea. But let me know. This was fun, y'all. I'm in a good mood. Either that or like exhausted. One of the two. But I'm glad I did this. I hope this helps somebody. I do. But if you want to see more of me, go follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And if you haven't subscribed, if you're not following this podcast, you don't love me. That's what it means. I'm just here wasting my breath. You don't care about me. You don't think about me. You don't think about wanting to be. I want to be American. You guys, I'm actually quite tired. Please do follow the podcast, y'all, so that you are updated whenever I drop a new one. Okay? And what else do I gotta tell y'all? Hey, you, and I'm gonna see you next week. Talk to one of these. Bye.